everybody. I think I'm on. I don't know. I got little pop-ups and everything that were kind of different this time. So I don't know. I tried to have the setting the long way and it told me that I don't want to play. So I'm just going to go with it. That's okay. So this was an impromptu live. I didn't really let anyone know. I probably should have scheduled this or maybe put it on my community tab or something like that to let people know that I'm here. Hi, I'm here, but I didn't. So I don't know. I should probably also pull up on my iPad and, find me on my iPad. And yes, Susan, you are the first one here. But I'm going to find me on my iPad so then maybe I can read the comments a little bit better because on the phone I can only see a couple. And it's really tiny. And then I'm like this. And that's, not a good look. It's not. So there you go. I just thought it would be kind of fun. Like, let's just show up. Hello. Let's see. Can you do a giveaway? I just joined. I don't think I can do a giveaway on this because I'm not set up to. A lot of people do giveaways on their lives. And they are normally planned. And I didn't plan on necessarily coming on. I just turned on the video. And I think it also helps too if you have like a random comment or something along that line for the giveaways. And again, I'm not set up for that right now. So I am doing great. And like I said, I'm trying to pull myself up on the on here so I can actually see the stuff. Hi, Ivy. How are you? Oh, look, I found me. Look, I was number one. Oh, I probably shouldn't. For that right now. There. Now I can see me. Sweet. So I have been collecting and figuring out what I'm working on. A sad day. This. I know it doesn't look like much. That is part of a sock that I just cut out. Yeah. Yeah, it's a couple grams. It was a good 30, 40 rounds, on my sock. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where you're from. Shanice, is that how you say it? Shanice Andrews? Yeah. I don't know where you're from. I think yarn has gone up everywhere. That's been kind of absolutely crazy. I'm working on the socks. So I just pulled this out of here. I was at like 35 rows after the gusset and now I'm like 10 or 15. They were pretty close to the same length. And I just cut all that green out. Trinidad, okay. So, Shanice is in Trinidad. Yeah, yeah, that's a bit more expensive. I have heard that yarn is definitely more expensive there. Yeah, yeah. Please update on your YouTube channel. What do you mean by that? I don't understand. Okay, this is why. Yeah, Susan, you and me both. I'm telling you, with yarn that's gone up so drastically, I now look pretty smart having such a collection. Like getting all the Caron cakes, back in the old days before they were $10 a cake and now they're 13. Hi, Amanda, how are you doing? It's nice to see you here. Amanda is Tap Mama 73 in the Beg Brigade. I don't have Nightbot or anything set up here, but if you don't have her, look her up. She's another redhead. Just saying, you got to support the redheads. So there is that. Let's see. So Foodkey sees some sort of problem with my YouTube channel. I don't know. I'm here. I'm living. I'm alive. I'm breathing. And people are here with me. So there you have it, right? Doing something. I don't know. I'm talking to people, right? Hi, Diana. How are you doing tonight? I'm working on my socks. I'm recreating what I had. I just pulled this out and it doesn't look like much, but it was about that much. Yeah, I had a lot of green and everything. Thank you so much, Amanda. That is wonderful. Yes, I am now, I've got over 1,000 subscribers for those people who are used to seeing on YouTube. To be in that monetized zone, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 400 watch hours for the AdSense within a rolling 365-day period. I have met that minimum. And then YouTube will send you a check as long as your earnings are $100 in the month. If they're not, they just roll them over to the next month until you get at least 100. So I have crossed that threshold. Yay! So there you go. Yeah, Cindy, these socks are Heritage Prints. This is Cascade yarn. And if you want to get some, I'm not affiliated or anything, but littleknits.com still has them on sale for $6.99 for one skein. If you go into a local yarn store that still has these, because they retire colors out, but this particular yarn is about $14 a ball. So Little Knits has it for half off. And they also have 5 of them for $35. Again, I'm not affiliated, just like good deals. So there you go. And that helps out immensely for saving money. If you're gonna buy the yarn anyway, you might as well get 2 skeins for the price of 1, right? You know, that's that retirement fund that we were talking about. Amanda, right before you joined in, Susan and I were talking about looking extremely smart because we have yarn stashes, right? And we collected a lot of our yarn before the prices went through the roof. so, so I'm looking pretty smart now. You know, I know you particularly, Amanda really likes the Caron cakes. I know you really like the Caron cakes, and they have gone through the roof, $12.99 and $13.99 each. Yeah, my Michaels, they're up to the $13.99. My Michaels for the Caron cakes is about the size of an end cap, and that's all they have for the Caron cakes. They don't have the macchiato cakes. They don't have the newer ones that they've got out right now. And what they do have is, you know, it's like, really, that's it? You know, I mean, I got a couple cubicles that has more yarn than they do. So I have to drive a little farther to a Michaels that's actually semi-stocked. I keep going into our Michaels, and my husband makes fun of me because I leave empty-handed because it's sad. It's sad. Yep. Yeah, Amanda uses every discount she can get her hands on. I don't blame you. I mean, you have to. You 100% have to. Everything has gone skyrocketed crazy. Just absolutely ridiculous. Hi, Lori. How are you doing? Lori, did you make it over to, Lori's in Colorado. Did you make it over to Arapahoe Community College? There was a craft fair type of a thing going on today. I didn't. I planned on it, but I didn't end up making it there. They had food trucks. Elevation Yarn and Company, the yarn company that I just talked about in this morning's video, they were out there. So then they had some other things, and I would have liked to have gone, but I didn't get a chance to make it. You know, sometimes it happens. Yeah. But let's see. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing? It's nice to have you here. Is anyone else working on anything while we're here chatting? I've got my socks on the needles and everything. Am I the only one who can do this and like look and see the reverse and knit and crochet? I can't be. I mean, you've got to be able to do these types of things with your eyes closed, right? Maybe. I don't generally do it with my eyes closed. I had a friend who could take their knitting to the movies and knit while the movie was playing. Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, I just not. Ooh, Amanda's got a cardigan on her hooks. Are you working with the Colorama, Amanda, or what yarn are you using today? Because I know you've got a bunch of the Colorama. Let's see. Let's see. Hello, Shannon. Can monetization on your channel instantly? Foodski, I am actually monetized. I have reached that level. I have over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 hours. So I am in that level of monetization. I haven't turned on memberships yet because I'm not sure what I want to offer for the membership. So I'm actually reading it and being very thoughtful about that before I do so. But I have hit that level. Thank you for asking. Let's see. Oh, so the color, what color are you using on yours? I have 2 colors of the Colorama. I have the yellow and I have the gray, and I think they'll be fantastic together. So that skylight blue colors, is that the one that's all blue, or is that the one that has the maroon berry color in the middle? I think that one's called berry, isn't it? Because I know there's more than one for the Colorama. They're really pretty. Haven't worked with them yet, but I'd like to. Yep. I'm like, with my yarn collection, what is it? And then I'm also working on, not right now, obviously, but my mystery yarn. Yes, I have started something with that too. And Susan says she's knitting with hands down yarn with Okay, I got to go to the bigger print. Sorry about that. Let's see. Sorry about that, Susan. She said, Susan says that she's knitting with hands down yarn. She's supposed to have 12 stitches on each side. That's just quarter. And I was watching a movie, and I guess I just decided that I should just knit it all. Not really sure if autocorrect got you on that one. Ooh, Amanda's using the blue yarn that's going to turn to pair it with the cobalt. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds like Susan. Were you supposed to purl some and you decided to do some stockinette, Susan? It's happened. I did that earlier. I definitely did that earlier. I was working on my husband's sweater. Yes, I did. Oh my gosh. So if anyone has heard this, Susan has, because I started the sweater when I was out in Maryland 4 years ago. I was using Berroco Ultra Alpaca in a gorgeous shade of green. And the sweater was not going well. I had a lot of pieces, all different gauge. And I didn't notice it till, you know, I'm pulling them all three different pieces, multiple skeins of yarn worked into this, and they are all different gauge. So it definitely didn't work. And yeah, I put it in timeout, and every couple of years I would get it out and I'd look at it. And my husband's been on to me. He's like, where's my sweater? Where's my sweater? I'd like my sweater. Where's my sweater? And he actually wore a sweater the other day just to prove that he would actually wear a sweater since he is so warm-blooded. And I had to get more yarn for him because I had planned on making a vest, and 7 skeins of yarn was overkill for the vest, and that's why I did it. I wanted to make sure that no matter what pattern, no matter what, 7 skeins was definitely enough to make it a vest for him. And then we decided that he wanted a sweater, which, you know, sleeves and everything else. Well, 7 was not going to be enough. So I'm like, well, what yarn would you like? You know, picking out. I said, well, I like the yarn that you got. So I got into Webs, which is yarn.com, and I ordered 12, you know, which is, again, overkill, but I wanted overkill. I wanted to make sure, and I got the same yarn, and I knew it was going to be a different dye lot, which of course it was. That's why I ordered 12. I couldn't just get 5 new ones. And I did that, and I started that. So I have the full body done, and then I had about this much of the cuff for the arm. And this morning, I went to wind the yarn. And I wound 2 skeins, and I'm like, wait a minute, which ones are they? Again, it's the same yarn, but different dye lots. So I didn't write down which dye lot. So I wound, I think, the old yarn, 2 of them. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I had an epiphany. Maybe it's the wrong one. I'm glad I looked. I believe it was, because I had another bag that had 6 skeins that were not wound. That has to be the new yarn, because I only had 7 of the other one. It has to be the new. I wound 2. I started the cuff again. I think the 2 cuffs are different sizes. So it's okay. I'm going to start both of them at the same time. I'll just rip out what I had and start both of them, and I'll be fine. So just, my gauge is all over lately. I don't know. Susan was supposed to be doing garter stitch and did stockinette stitch. Well, you know, is it a design feature or what, you know? And then Ivy has also used the Colorama yarn, so it looks like Amanda and Ivy have both used it. I have not. I'm looking forward to it. My Wonderful Knitting Life says my sweater looks very nice. I made this. This is a Berroco pattern design called Derecho. I'm probably not saying it correctly, but I know what I'm talking about, right? You know how that goes. And I'm using, this is the Berroco Remix Light. And I think it was like 3 balls. It's one of those that you look at and you're like, oh no, I can't get a whole garment. I mean, I'm an XL. I'm not petite, right? I'm not a tiny little girl. And yeah, I think it was 3 balls. It was crazy how much you could get out of one of those balls of yarn. It works up really, really well. Yep. Let's see, Amanda is saying she made a loom amigurumi earlier today. Kind of looks like a pickle person. Amanda, you've been having fun with your loom with knitting. That's funny. Doing that, you've been doing the pumpkins and stuff as far as that goes. You beat me to it. I gave you props on that. You definitely beat me to it on the teal pumpkin. You know, and it's funny. I made this, and it sounds like a lot of people are really making the blue pumpkins this year. And I had somebody comment on my video and said that they did a blue teal type of a pumpkin on their channel also, but for a different reason. I don't know, I'll take their word for it, but she commented that it signals food allergies. So if the child is taking a blue pumpkin around with them, it means that they've got some sort of food allergies. And if you display the blue pumpkin, if you're handing out candy to trick-or-treaters, then that means that you have some non-food treats or something like that. I wouldn't know that. I would just, you know, give my kid a blue pumpkin if they like blue. I would not have known that it supposedly signifies something, you know, so I thought that was good. Have you guys heard that? Am I the only one that's in the dark? I just thought it was pretty. Yeah, and I was talking about pumpkins, and you can't see it, but I'm looking straight at some sparkly teal blue, and it just popped into my head. So evidently, you know, I thought I was unique. Guess not. It just sounded good to me. Let's see. Let's see. I've got... So Diana's making blankets with Caron Simply Soft and sparkly yarn for the grandkids. Yeah, are you using the Caron party yarn, the party sparkle, or a different sparkle? Because that's the one that I'm staring at right now. And Amanda made the blue one last night and put eyes on it. So she's working on her blue pumpkins and eyes. You also had 3 cream pumpkins that you were working on. Or you had one and you had a few other balls of like a cream or a white color that you were working on. Let's see. And Elena says she made her first Impkin tonight. Oh, wow. Okay, so you beat me to that. I have the book, and I think it's great. I tried to get the grandkids involved, and I'm like, all right, guys, pick something out. And I think it would be great. You could do it as a game. You could roll dice if you wanted to, or you know how a lot of people have the YouTube random picker. You could put all the different choices in one of the wheels, spin the wheel things. You could number them, or you could actually label them by name. And then hit the go button on that, and then have the random picker decide, okay, do you have the arms out? Do you have the arms down? Is it sitting? Is it standing? Do you have the fat belly? Do you have the thin belly? Do you have antennas or not antennas? You know, all the different choices, and that would be your 100% game unique creature. I don't know. I just thought it was great. I just couldn't get the grandkids interested. I mean, come on, guys, let's play. Now, my oldest son, when I showed it to him, he was all kinds of interested. He was going to borrow the book and take it to his wife and have them go through and pick things out. So he was all over it. But the little ones that you'd think would be interested, they were playing with other things. Oh, come on, let's go make some stuffed things. I don't know. And Michelle said, she commented on hers too about the Real Pumpkin Project. Or I think you meant Teal Pumpkin Project. Okay, that was you. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name, but you know, that was the first time that I had heard about that. So I'm just thinking blue pumpkin's pretty. I didn't know that it had a meaning or a connotation behind it. Let's see. And hi, Rose, Lenanda Rose from San Antonio. And Michelle, they're saying hi to each other. And Ivy says she needs 10 more thumbs. Oh, that's right. Hey, please do the thumbs up. YouTube likes all that stuff. The like, the subscribe, the share, it's a thing. Whatever. Just, it doesn't cost anything. That would be greatly helpful so it can get, you know, shown to other people. That's cool. Yep. You are so cool. I'm actually 11. Okay, thank you. Okay, and I started at 6. Hi, it's like, I thought they were all adorable. I might have to get the book. Yeah, Donna, the book is really nice, and it just came out, so everywhere it's full price right now. You know, so if you're looking and waiting, obviously give it a little bit of time. It'll probably go down, but right now everything's full price. You know, a lot of times Amazon, you can get things a little less expensive. Or another option, and I don't know if Knitpicks has it, but Knitpicks a lot of times puts their books on sale. Yeah, and you can always get to free shipping or what have you, you know, if you're yarn addicted. So, I don't know. It's a way to look at it. I mean, we all look for, like Amanda was saying, we all look for discounts and we all look for sales and we all like to do those types of things, right? And that's why I put so many comments in some of my videos on the book sales or things along that line, different ways to look at them. Check out your library. Libraries will have different books. They might not have that one, but they have a lot of different books. And someone else was commenting that a lot of your libraries have digital. They have digital copies, so you can rent it, you know, if you want to call it that, right? You know, borrow the digital copy for a week or two, and you know, maybe there's some things on it to where you can't really download and keep it forever, that type of thing, but you can screenshot the things you like. That's what I would do. But that's another way to look at it. And if you're not sure you want the book, if it's still a, you know, a recent book that you can purchase, borrow it. 100% borrow it. If you like enough of the patterns and you want it in your collection, by all means buy it. But and then Kindle's another option too. A lot of times, like that the book that the little bear came in, the Kindle is what, $1.95, $1.99 Kindle version. There you go. Or you can get the actual imprint version in the United States for $9.99 or $9.95, $10. Your choice. If I were wanting it again, I already own the hard copy book or paperback, I'd get Kindle. It just depends on what you want to do with it. Might as well save some money, right? Buy yarn. Save money, buy yarn. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, did you guys get a chance to watch this morning's video where I was talking about the new yarn company, Elevation Yarn Company? Did you see these things? I mean, look at that. I had not seen that. These little tags, they've got seeds in them. They're handmade, and they got little bumpy things in it, and you're like, what are those little bumps, right? And those little bumps that are right there, those are Colorado wildflower seeds, and they're biodegradable handmade tags that the yarn company, the yarn store does. I just haven't seen that. Maybe you guys have. I've never seen it, so I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I'm also kind of dorky and easily amused, so there is that. That's just how that works. I don't know. Oh, and you've heard me comment, and I'm making a mess. You've heard me comment on my husband. He tells me how funny I'm not funny, but you know, he watches my videos and he laughs a lot, so I don't know. He's laughing at me, but I'm good with that, right? You know? Yep. Oh, see. So Stephanie says, oh, you know what? Speaking of merch, I don't have anything yet. What, is it in here? Oh, one moment. I have something. I do. My girlfriend is in marketing and she made my logo. Let me grab something. One moment. Entertain yourselves. One moment. There you go. What? I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm almost back. But look what I got. She gave these to me. She made my logo, and then she had these things made. And look at that. You see that? Aren't those fantastic? Yeah. So I have my own Another Yarn logo that I can put on my hats and things like that. Aren't those adorable? So I'll have to get other merchandise. I do have an actual logo, right? This is my logo, right? But now I have tags. So when I make hats and decide to either give them away or sell them or whatever, I can put on my own tags. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. I thought that was great. I didn't know she was doing that. Obviously, I knew she made my logo, but I didn't know that she was going to make those for me and give those to me. She just gave them to me. I can't wait to make a hat to put on that, you know, to put them on and everything. I just think they're so cute. I mean, the little sheep on there, oh my gosh. And the lettering, I mean, look at that again. You know, I mean, that is just the cutest thing. And it's got both, and that was the other thing too, with coming up with a logo, since I do both knitting and crocheting, and I didn't want just the knitting needles or just the crochet hook, you know, because I don't want people to look at it and go, oh, well, that's not for me. I only crochet, or that's not for me. I only knit. No, it's got both. So my logo in the beginning of my videos and on here, it has both. That's why. So I'm thrilled. Yeah, that's fun. So I will end up getting merchandise and everything now that, I mean, that's kind of spurred me on, and then you just made that comment. So I'll definitely be doing that, especially since I have the stuff along that line. It's fun. It's pretty stuff. Yes, let's see. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, Amanda, you would definitely not want that. So you would want more of the yarn bouquet, not necessarily the yarn bouquet that actually sprouts into flowers. But I get that, yeah. So Amanda's allergic to flowers, so that's not a good thing. So Donna, My husband laughs a lot. So it was funny. He had no idea that I had worked on his sweater, obviously until he saw the video, right? But he didn't know that I was working on it or that I had actually started that cuff and everything, you know. So when I put that forth and he's doing morning things and morning whatever, and he's got the iPad and he's walking around the house with it, and I can tell he got to that part because he started cracking up. I mean, he was just cracking up, and then he was talking about how spoiled he is. He has his socks and he has his mitts, and you know, and I want my sweater. And he's threatened. He's not here right now, but he's threatened to barge in on me when I'm recording. Like, "Where's my sweater? Where's my sweater?" To just bust me out. To, hey, she's making everything else. She's not working on my sweater. You know, she's working on a sweater for her. She's doing something else. Where's my sweater? But yeah, he has definitely threatened to call me out. He thinks he's funny. He does. I think he's kind of funny, but he's like I am. He's quirky, right? And we've been together for so many years. We're like one person. I just have more hair, and you know, and we'll say things to make the other person laugh. They say laughter is the best medicine, and you know, laughter will help you to live longer. He's made reference to, you know, I have evidently want him to live into his 90s because of all the laughter. So we're dorky with each other. It just, you know, why wouldn't you be? I mean, that's the person that you're with. You should be having fun, right? It's just a better way to do it. Let's see. Yep. Same, yeah. I love that. The slogan, first slogan, save money, buy yarn. See, it's a thing. You can do that. You can do that. Yep, let's see. Oh, and the it's a thing, I say that a lot. I realize that. So does my husband. I'm not sure which one of us started it. He'll say him. But yeah, it's a thing. That is definitely, or we have different sayings that are probably not politically correct. With the kids when they were younger, you know, kids will listen to you sometimes and sometimes they won't. And one of them we would say is stupid hurts, sometimes it'll kill you. And you know how kids want to push those boundaries? Because that's what kids do. And we would say that, and if it was something that wasn't going to get them really hurt, we let them do it. Now we would preface it with stupid hurts, sometimes it'll kill you. And then, you know, the kids are smart, right? And they'll realize, wait a minute, I've heard that before. Oh, wait, yeah, last time I heard that was right before I did something and I got hurt. So then they started to realize. And we evidently said it so much that when my middle child was in school, I think he was second grade, we had told his teacher that don't, you know, if he says this, you know, little Johnny or whatever gets hurt on the playground and he says, stupid hurts, this is what it means and this is what he's referring to. And even our grandkids say that. And if somebody says, stupid hurts, it doesn't matter how old you are in our household. Everyone kind of looks up, perks, you know, like the dog that hears something, whoa, wait a minute, you know, kind of like the redneck saying and everything, you know, Homo Bear, watch this, right? You know, you want to watch. You just know. That's just something you want to pay attention to. Yeah, so we have some pretty interesting comments. Nothing really bad, but, you know, I mean, I don't know if anyone else has ever heard that. You stupid hurt, sometimes it'll kill you. That'll make you think. That's ours. That'll make you think. That's all. Let's see. Start making a list. Yeah, you know, Stephanie, that's probably a good idea. That really is, because those are definitely things that I say. You know, it's a thing. Buy yarn, it's a thing. Or, you know, I'm not going to promise not to buy yarn because that's stupid. Because we know I'm going to buy yarn again. I mean, it's going to go on sale. It's going to happen, you know, or it's going to be a new color, or they're going to have seeds in their tags, and that's just the coolest thing on top of the pretty color, you know. Or like my husband with this one, this homegrown, gorgeous alpaca yarn, Colorado homegrown, everything, just the softest stuff ever. Yeah, it had to come home. Yeah, I got a little ball left. I think I'm gonna do a hat with that. Yeah, what do you think? I don't know, let me see. Okay, so this is like 15 grams right here. It's that gorgeous alpaca, and I have this right here. I know, you're like, yeah, it's just plain. I know. Cool. So this is 30% baby alpaca, 30% merino wool, 20% bamboo viscose, and 20% nylon. So doing a color work right here, obviously mostly white and everything and interspersed with that, still keeps with the alpaca theme. And you're using all this. Because I don't know exactly how much this was, but it's pricey, you know. And yeah, I think that's a good idea. That would be one that I would give for him to keep. We'll see, you know. Let's see. All the duct tape in the world can't fix stupid. Yeah, my husband does buy me yarn. That he does. He is such an enabler. You know, even whatever. He just really is. He likes to see me smile. He likes to see me happy. Or he'll say things like, "Well, you know, you're going to use it. Good gracious, have you seen my room? I'm not going to live that long. I mean, I'm not planning on, you know, going and walking in front of a bus tomorrow or anything, but yeah, you know, the term, if you haven't heard it, is SABLE. Stash acquired beyond life expectancy. SABLE. Yeah, so I have reached that a while ago. But I've also been collecting my yarn and my crocheting and knitting stash for 40 plus years. So none of this is, you know, just an overnight thing. Like, hey, last week I decided to get into knitting and crocheting and look, it exploded. No, this has been carefully curated through the decades. So it's just, yeah. And I think I've got other friends who have yarn stashes. Susan has a nice yarn stash. I have definitely seen her. She does, right? And I love looking at other people's yarn stash, not as a jealousy, not as a, oh, I wish I had that or anything along that line. I like to look because it's a treasure hunt. You know, everybody, Susan found things that I've not seen before, right? I've got a friend of mine, Rose. She has a gorgeous yarn stash. I've not seen a lot of the stuff in hers. Coral's another friend of mine, same thing. It doesn't matter. What did you see? Where were you at when you collected your yarn? You've seen a color that I haven't seen. You've seen a brand I've never seen. You've seen something along that line. It's never a jealousy. It's just a, ooh, I want to see, what'd you find? You know, I'm like that when people take their yarn up to the counter for a yarn store that I have been in for the last 30 minutes looking at everything. And I'm still like this, hey, what'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you find? What'd you find? Yeah. You know, I don't want to take it from them. Obviously, that would be rude. But it's like, what did you find? What are you going to make with it? That's exciting. And I like that aspect and that sharing, being able to see what somebody else came up with, because everyone's brain works differently. What are you planning on making with that? What went through your mind when you bought that particular thing? And I like that type of a sharing because I learn. They learn about me, I learn about them. It's just the way to go. I mean, it's the coolest thing. Yeah, I don't begrudge anyone for what they've collected or not over the years. Hi, Heather. How are you doing? It's nice to see you here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Oh, can't see everything, but I definitely recognize the logo. Let's see. Start making a list. I'm spoiled. Susan, I definitely love that. The duct tape. I got some red and green, like an iridescent duct tape the other day. I got that at the dollar store, you know, $1.25, because I had the kids over. No, I wasn't going to duct tape them. It's not, you're not supposed to do that. It's kind of like when you have puppies and you have dogs and everything, you can't, and you have little kids, you cannot put the kids in the kennel. Just because they crawl in on their own does not mean you get to close the door and leave it. That will get you in trouble. Just, you know, friendly word of advice. But kids do. If you have a dog kennel or something like that, the kids will go in voluntarily. You're just not allowed to lock them in. But we've had Akitas before, so we had very large kennels. Yeah, so we definitely know that. But don't lock the kids in the kennel. Don't use duct tape on them either. But I got duct tape not to use on the children, but for all the crafts, because I had the glow in the dark yarn and I had all the other stuff, and then I forgot to bring the duct tape out. But I thought that the pretty colors would be fun for them to play with. But they did have fun with that glow in the dark yarn. I still need to figure out what I want to make with it. Like I said, it's not the best feeling. My husband said I was being way too overcritical and way too harsh on it. But it's definitely not a Chanel like you would, you know, like a soft Chanel with that Lion brand glow-in-the-dark Chanel. But he was telling me that I was being way too critical. So, you know, there is that. But I would like to use some of it, and not necessarily like the Halloween ghost theme, but what I think would be really nice is making a hat, and either knit or crochet, doesn't matter, and at the top doing like a color work and making a stitch of the glow stuff and the random around, kind of like the stars and a night. That would be kind of cool. And yeah, that would be really neat. And then the texture wouldn't be a bad thing. So you could still use a sport weight or a DK weight or something like that. Even with that, it would just be like thrummed. I've not done thrumming before, but if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And it'll be a thicker, bumped out piece, similar to like a popcorn, even though it wouldn't be. And you would just make one stitch randomly all the way around, and it would be like little twinkles, and you could use all the different colors. Yeah, that's an idea. Yeah, you get to see how my brain works. Yeah, this is... I don't know if your brain works like this, but I do. I come up with a lot of ideas, and it's easy to come up with ideas. It really is. It's not as easy to come up with all the time to make the ideas, but I think that one would be a lot of fun. And one of the other ones that I wanted to do is, actually, this would be a better time to do that. Huh. I have multiple 1-gallon Ziploc bags of like leftover sock yarn, like this. I don't know why it's so messy. This is some of the Heritage print sock yarn that Cascade that has, and this was left over from making a pair of socks. And it's like a 25 grams, something along that line. But I was going to pair this up with another yarn, doubling that, and seeing how the colors go. Now this is a stripe, and depending on what I do with the other yarn will really affect the way that the hat looks. And I've got a bunch of different sock yarns. So there's patterns out there that have, hey, this is how you can do your scrappy hats. And I looked at the patterns, and they're gorgeous. I'll have to pull some up and show them. And they're absolutely gorgeous, and it's beautiful color work. My yarn is chaotic. You know, theirs is, you know, they're doing that, and it's scraps, and all the colors match, and they flow beautifully. And if I wanted mine to look like that, I'd have to go buy them or start a new skein of every one of them. So my stuff looks like two people got in a room and started a fight. You know, I mean, it just, they don't match. I like a lot of crazy colors and stripes and speckles and things along that line, and they just don't match at all. So doing those things, it's an interesting thing. I'm gonna grab a couple of those bags. Just a moment. They're right behind the camera. I'm gonna grab some. All right. I went through a couple of these bags last year. So to give the idea, and I used last year most of the stuff that already matched. That right there would be enough to go with that green and that purple, and it is gorgeous. That's a hand-dyed yarn. That one would be enough for a whole hat as one color, but I'd stripe it with something else. So that's a stripe, and I've got various like reds, and you know, okay, so I use the red as a whole with it. Nice. But I've got so many things. Like this one, you can see there's not a lot that really matches in there, because I took all the matching stuff and used it last year. You know, that's bright. But you see what I'm getting at with like the chaotic colors? I'm like, okay, we'll pick two that match. Have fun with that. And now that I'm making the socks again, I've got a lot more colors that I get to figure out. So that'll be kind of an interesting one. So I do have some nice dark colors. So that's good. And even using like this small amount here, that's what I have left. Last year I did a really nice hat, like five different colors similar to this one, and it flowed beautifully. But I kept this because this is going to be a really good one to add in. Just that little, not necessarily pop of color compared to what I'm going to put with it, but you know, you get that idea. But this is, and I've got a lot of stripes. You know, I'm like, come on, that's not, they're already on their own stripes. They're already doing their own thing. And then trying to figure out how to mix them and mash them up. Kind of an interesting one. So this year I made socks with this. So I've got plenty of this one all over. Made some socks from this one. I made this one for my daughter-in-law who has really tiny feet, so there's a lot left in this. So this would be a whole hat with like one color. So I thought that was pretty fun. I have a little tiny pop of neon green. Oh yeah, I have this color in all different weights, right? You know. So Amanda said that would drive her nuts not having them balled up. Well, you know, I've balled some of them, and this was what the chaotic mess that I had from it. And I do go through and I ball them up and I put them back like this in cakes. I'll do that. I'll get into the little bags and everything, and I'll ball all of them up into the cakes and everything to make it just a little bit easier. Made socks with this one this year. Look at that, sparkly. Yeah, so, but you can see this, like this is just 4 of the pair I've made earlier this year. They don't match. And I don't know in anyone's mind, shape, or what have you, they don't match. And that's how most of my sock yarns are. So it's, hi Manuel, how are you? But this is how this works, right? You know, and I'm like, oh, and all the scrappy projects are like, oh, you just use your leftovers and it matches and it goes well. Lady, you don't know me. I mean, they do not. So then I started adding lace to it because I have a lot of lace weight yarn, actual lace weight, not the fingering weight. And I'll hold that double and I'll have the lace weight being the solid all the way through, and do that with the different colors and stuff, and just coming up with some fun things. But you can see, and this is just the leftovers, like I said, but you can see all this, none of this stuff matches. It doesn't. But we're going to see what I come up with. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Trust me. It'll be just fine. So I was thinking about doing that and coming up with some other things and seeing that before and after of, well, here's how it started. Let's see how it's going, you know. It's a hat. It'll keep somebody warm, you know. The hats are cool because it's like painting with yarn. It really is. And some of these things, especially when you're doubling them, you don't know how they're going to match. I think one of the ways that you can look at it is, I know Jennifer from Cinnamon Stitches talks about the puzzle yarn. And the puzzle yarn it's Premier Puzzle, and it's like stranded together. It's 2 colors stranded together to create a marl effect. And they start and stop at different points. So you can go through a full ball of puzzle, and although the yarns have the same colors throughout, it might not be the same striping pattern throughout because of the way that those 2 colors are wound together. And it's the same with the hat. You can have all the same stuff, but depending on where you're starting and stopping with a new yarn or a stripe or something like that, it's going to have a different effect. And I like those types of things. I think that type of stuff is fun and chaotic, and, you know, like, might as well, you know. Yeah, I definitely use the word chaotic a lot. It's like, could always make chaotic socks. Yeah, I have been. I've thought about doing that with some of the other stuff because people talk about that, making your Frankenstein socks or something like that. And I do have a kitchen scale. If you don't have one and you're doing things like this, get one, you know, $10, $15 somewhere, or, you know, get at a thrift store for that matter. And what you do is you weigh both sides if you're not sure. And you'll do 5, 10 rounds of this one, 5 or 10 rounds of the other one, especially like I'm doing 2 at a time, 2 socks at a time. It's a little easier. And I thought about doing those, but when I'm using such a striped yarn, like this is, I know it's a chaotic mess. That is a very striped yarn. This blue is a very striped yarn all by itself. So depending on how big your ball is, you know, for leftovers, you might have 3 stripes on one sock, 3 different stripes on the other sock, even though it came from the same ball, because, you know, it's got 6 stripes or something like that. You're not getting to it, so it still looks like they're not the matched. The ones that would be more of a matched might be more like this one, but your straight up stripes, not as much. So I thought about doing that too, and coming up with different ways to, you know, have fun with it. This one would be one that it wouldn't matter as much. But yeah, just different ways to look at it. Does anyone else collect all their their scrap sock yarns. Does anyone else remember, if you're a knitter, the hexagon, the beehive hexagon blankets? Everybody a few years back was making them. I made, I think, 2 or 3 hexagons at most. Not my thing. It wasn't so much the tying in the ends and everything. It didn't bring me joy. So I'm like, whatever. And for a year or two, all my leftover sock yarns I was giving to a friend who was making one of those hexagon blankets out of the fingering weight yarn. And then, you know, I started keeping some of it myself and making other projects with it. And you can't tell with what I have left that out of these bags, I made 30 hats last year. And it was out of those bags. And these are the colors that are left over. I've got some pictures. I'll have to make a video of it and show, because I do have some pictures, but they're on my phone and I'm filming on my phone right now. And I'll have to bring those up just to show you what I've done in the past, you know, fun stuff. Hey puppy, please don't take my yarn. Oh yeah, the little guy's like, I'm gonna get it. Oh, he's looking at me. He's like, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get your yarn. Yeah, that's the little guy that's semi-feral. Not really feral, but, you know, he had a rough upbringing. He had a rough life. So, Lori, you made a large sweater with the puzzle yarn. Definitely striped a bit differently with each bulb of the sweater. And that's what I was talking about. I've used puzzle once, and I made a baby blanket for my granddaughter, and gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful, but definitely that difference, the way the stripe goes through. So you have a very unique piece. That, to me, is more of a similar for how your hand dyeds work. You know, it'll be in that same family, but you know, you're going to get some variations. You're going to get some differences, something that's unique to you and unique to that piece. I like those types of things. So what is everyone else working on? Amanda's working on her cardigan. I know that. Susan's trying to figure out the difference between stockinette and purl stitch, and I'm only harassing her because I know her in person. And all right, puppy. He's like, I will get your yarn. I will eat your yarn. So Amanda's using the puzzle on a corner-to-corner blanket right now. You know, you just commented, you've commented that you just learned how to do corner-to-corner, and I was thinking about that the other day. I'm not sure I've actually done anything with corner-to-corner. I know the concept, but I've not done it. And I think maybe I should do a washcloth with it or something, right? I mean, you know, I gotta try it. Yeah, might as well. Let's see. Those yarn. Yeah, Manuel, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing with a lot of those. Or not Manuel, Miguel. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've got a Manuel that I work with, so I apologize for that. And I plan on doing a lot of the hats with that yarn and having fun with that. I better look down over here so I can see a little better. So Michelle's working on a spider for a crochet along with Crystal, the Yarny Chicken. What spider? Is it a stuffed animal spider? Is it something, a spider into something? What type of a spider is that? I didn't see that one. I've been on her channel, but I didn't see that one. So, you know, I'd like to play. I don't mind. Let's see, was it ant? I'll have to show those and everything. I'll have to pull up some old pictures. I did some crocheted ants for my grandsons when they were little. They were big stuff. They were about this big, you know. It was a improvised pattern. You know, a piece from this and a piece from that and my own imagination, and I smashed it all together. Yeah, I'm like, okay, it looks like an ant to me. That might not have been what I was going for, but that's what it turned out to be. Yeah, that's how that works. And Stephanie says she's been trying to crochet some towel toppers for a coworker. She's struggling with a pattern, also trying to do a project for school. So unfortunately, school, yeah, my work was just offering classes and things like that. And like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to do that, you know. I know I should be looking at, I'm in tech, right? That's my job. My full-time job is in tech. And tech moves so fast that you really do need to continue going to school. And I'm like, but I'm 54 and I don't want to go to school right now. I want to play with yarn. I don't want to go to school. And, you know, I'm looking through the classes. And I'm like, hey, what's the easy class? You know, what's the one that I don't have to put a whole lot of effort into, but I can still learn something? You know, I'm like, I don't want to. I just, you know, I don't know if anyone else feels like that. Like, come on, Grandma doesn't want to go back to school, you know? Yeah, so I feel for you on that one. when my husband and I were both taking classes and getting our bachelor's degrees, we learned we do not do well when we both take classes at the same time. No, no, not at all. So we had to stagger them, you know, because you know, inevitably we would both wait to the last minute to write our papers, and then we would both get really grumpy, and anything would set us off, anything at all, because you know we were procrastinating to the last minute, right? And yeah, so we didn't do well when we were both trying to do that at the same time. Ooh. So I feel for you being in class. I don't know. And uh, oh, you know, Heather, I wasn't part of the things we're making Thursday in the very beginning. I didn't realize that that was a corner to corner graph GAN. I've not done one of those. They sound fun. They do. I just haven't done one. You know, I think they look pretty cool. I'll have to go back and look at all of them. Ooh, a stuffed spider. I like that. Let's see. And Susan's working on 2 blankets and a washcloth. And she also hates corner to corner. Well, it's a good thing we have choices, Susan. What is it that you don't like about it? I know for like the washcloths, going just the typical washcloth that everyone likes to do with knit, corner to corner on that one. The first corner is beautiful. That last half, I don't know what it is I'm doing. You know what I'm getting at. It's a little wonky. I don't understand, but it's just, you know, half looks good. I make good triangles. You know, it's a good triangle. I don't know. You know, it's something. Oh, Michelle's doing a dog sweater for her Great Dane. Oh, okay, nice. You got a big dog. And making a sweater for herself and 2 blankets on the hook. I've got a friend who's got the Black Labs and is talking about doing that, doing the Granny Square dog sweater, because she's seen a lot of them online, and I thought that sounded really good. And she's already doing Granny Squares right now for her Boggy Creek blanket that she's working on. So she's like, I'm going to make sweaters for the dogs. And we were just talking about that earlier today. And yeah, you have a big dog too, so that's fun. That's really cool. And Brandon's making a patchwork crochet and knit sweater for my husband's birthday next month. What pattern? So patchwork crochet. Oh, okay. So are you knitting your cuff and your extremity portions and then crocheting the rest? How are you incorporating it? Because I do both also, knitting and crocheting. And I did a hexagon, you know, the hexicardis that everyone talks about. And I did it knit, and then I had some crochet flowers down the back and a lot of different shaping and everything as far as that goes. And then I ended up giving it to Lori, the armchair chef, and she was the one that really inspired that for her mystery yarn challenges that she's done for over a year. That's what inspired that particular cardigan, and for her 1-year anniversary, I sent it to her. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I had my joy. I made it. It got back my creativity and, you know, having fun and that type of stuff. So then I passed it on because that's what I do. That's how that works. Let's see. Ooh, bachelor's for nursing. Oh, that's hard. That's not even like an easy one, you know. And Debbie's working on thinking about what she's making for the Mystery Yarn Challenge. I have 1 full cake into my Mystery Yarn Challenge already. There were 4 cakes of yarn. I got a lot of yarn. I got a lot of yarn. Teresa gave me a lot of yarn, and she said, take your pick, do a choice. And one of them, there were 4 cakes of Lion Brand Comfy Cotton. I've not used it before. This is my first time using it, and I am 1 cake into it. So I'm really happy about my progress on that, because that's a lot. And Susan started her West shawl and watching the West MCAL. Well, that sounds like fun. So I've made like 4 different shawls, or actually, I think it's just 2 of the patterns. I think the Exploration Station and the Rockefeller. I've made multiple of each of those and absolutely love them for the Stephen West shawls. A lot of other patterns. I've got quite a few patterns from Stephen West, and I'm trying to figure out what my next shawl is. The other day, I don't normally have insomnia, so that's not an issue. But the other day I woke up, wasn't immediately going back to sleep, came into my room, and if my yarn would have been wound, the yarn I wanted to use, I would have cast on a shawl right then. Kind of glad it wasn't wound, because it kind of forced me to work on some of the stuff that I'm supposed to be working on. But yeah, I was thinking about that. And then the yarn pairing, oh my gosh. I have lots of choices let's see. So what I almost played with, I can reach it here. Oh, there it is. What I almost played with is this. That's a copper sparkle, and it is a deep maroon, and this is another one. This one doesn't have sparkle in it, but look at those two together. So one of the patterns that I was looking at, having two colors like that, and then the, you know, my favorite colors, right? You know, Susan, this one's not called Frank, but it might as well. Frank Ochre is a color for the, for this particular, this is the Aura, O-R-O colorway for the ultimate sock, but it is very close to, yeah, it's machine washable. So I was looking at these, and you know, that one wasn't wound, but thought that would be gorgeous too. I have a lot of options. I'm like, no, work on your sweater. You know, I could hear my husband's voice going, where's my sweater? Where's my sweater? He's like, I want my sweater. Let's see. Lori says she's been taking class for about 30 years. Nope, nope, nope. Because she had to for teaching license. Yeah, I get that. And the last two were summer of 2019. One of them was, yeah, I believe it. Yeah, hard. Oh no. You know, and I'm not against learning. That's not it. That's not it. But you know, there's things I'd rather do. Yeah, maybe that's wrong. I you know, at this stage of my life, I don't want to be in school all the time. I just don't. And Lori's also working on a corner-to-corner baby blanket and a small dragon. Ooh, what kind of dragon? What is big dragon, little dragon, stuffed dragon, big wings? What's the pattern? What's the pattern? I want to know. I want to know. Yeah, my dragon blanket's not done, but I did do 2 dragon scale rows on the blanket, so it is moving. Yay! It's growing. Yeah, it's not fast. I'm telling you, boy, I picked the one that was going to take some time. Sure did. Let's see. And Diana's also doing the spider. Her legs aren't exactly the same, though. All right, so tell me more about this spider, because I have not seen this spider. It's a stuffed spider. I need to go check this out. And Susan says she made a habitation throw and the decreasing. I don't know. I just hate doing, oh, yeah, that's for the corner to corner. I won't make another corner to corner. So is the habitation, was that a color work corner to corner? But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. And Shanice, welcome back. Let's see. And Brandon says, I'm mixing the patchwork blocks. Some are knit, some are crochet, different stitches. Oh, okay, so like a sampler. That's nice. I like being able to mix both knit and crochet and use the best of both worlds. I think that is just the best way to do it. Yeah, that's just a lot of fun. And the other thing too about that, when you can do both and you put them together, people think you're a genius. They do. They do. They just think you're a genius. And you know, I'm all for that, right? I want to be the genius in the yarn world. In the yarn world. Yeah, in the yarn world. So that's just me. Hi Maritza, how are you doing today? Let's see. Hello from Washington State. Nice. And yeah, one of my friends is originally from Washington, and she tells me about it all the time. Let's see. And Yarning for a Smile is here talking to Susan, and you guys are both doing the West. I saw that, and I almost got the stuff. You know, like I didn't have enough yarns. I probably do have enough yarns to jump on board with that one, but I've never done one of his knits that was a mystery knit along while it was a mystery. And I started to think about it for now, but I've got so much going on. Hi, Coral. You know, I've got so much going on right now. I'm like, do I really want to do that? I want to do a shawl. There's no doubt. I definitely want to do a shawl, but I don't know if I want to take on a mystery while it's a mystery. That's just me. I love the appeal. I definitely love the appeal. No doubt about that. Stephen West has a pattern starfish, something I have in my knit companion, and I just started it. Oh, no. Okay. So, Susan, is a starfish? Is it a shawl? Is that what you're talking about, or is it? Because I can't see him making stuffed things. And your Rockefeller needs. Oh yeah, you still haven't finished your Rockefeller. Is that the one you started 4 years ago? Is it? Is it? See, Gonna make fun of me for my sweater that I started 4 years ago for hubby. You started that shawl 4 years ago. You see, now you remember when I made the one for Laura and I talked about, hey, can we do it like short wings? And Laura's like, oh no, it needs the full wings. I did it. Because you two made fun of me. You did. Oh, Heather's from Canada. Hi, Heather. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate that. Let's see, so Michelle's here, and yeah, I've got the gorgeous yarns. I'll be gone for the time to see you. Big hugs. Oh, yeah. You know, I just came on just as a... I haven't been on for a while. The kids have been here. We've been watching the kids a lot, which is wonderful, but it doesn't help for if I want to join in here or doing the other videos or something, and probably I haven't scheduled, right? So the house is quiet. We had the grandkids earlier, and Mama came and picked them up. My husband's gone gaming, like D&D type games, right? So he's gone gaming, and he won't be back for another hour or so. I don't know. He's having fun. And I'm like, oh, it's quiet. It's just me and the dogs. Oh yeah, I'm going live. That was my whole thought process. I'm going live. Got it. You know, I'm like, yes, here, now. No notice, no notifications, no nothing. There's nobody here. I'm going live. So there you go. Yeah, Susan, hubby got introduced to Frank while we were at the yarn store. We were at You and Me yarn store, and we were getting this, and we were looking at all the different yarns. And Frank Ochre is a colorway. This one is not it. I do have some wound up very similar to this, and they had some there, and I'm like, hey, I could always get Frank. You know, that is my go-to color. When we were at Elevation Yarn and Company the other day, and we were looking at all their different displays that they had, you know, different yarns and everything that they had that was this color, because, you know, they'll have different displays and they might have, you know, some with this beautiful color in it. I'm gravitating towards that, and hubby's handing me purple. He's picking up the purple going, here, honey, the purple looks good on you. You need to do something other than, you know, these colors. Here, have some purple. I'm like, yeah, but this, it matches really well with this mustard. And he's like, have some purple. Yes, so that's his. So I wear a lot of purple because he loves it. I like purple too, but I started wearing the purple because of him. It wasn't that that was what I was drawn to as much. I mean, you know, as a kid, I love purple. That's my favorite color, but it's changed to green. And, you know, and for wearing colors and stuff, it's definitely for the color that I'm going to be drawn to is this. And it's hilarious going into a yarn store because I'm going for that. And Frank Ochre is a colorway. And he's handing me the purple and the sparkle and the maroons. We like maroons, you know, and orange. We definitely love orange, you know. But yeah. Hi, Cindy. How are you doing tonight? Welcome aboard. So, yeah, just fun stuff. And Susan's saying the habitation throw can be any color you want it to be. I will just not make another corner to corner. You know, there's a lot of patterns. If you don't like a pattern, by all means, move on to something fun. And Coral's one of my friends local, and she's in here. Hi, Coral. And everybody's saying hello to each other, which is wonderful. And yeah, I'm loving all the different colors. And Kel's Crochet Corner says, hi everyone, I've been in the bushes, but the pesky mosquitoes are starting to bite, so I need to say goodnight. Great seeing you live. Hugs. Well, thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate that. And Deborah, hi Shannon and all the different people in the chat room. And everyone's saying goodnight to Kel. And Cindy's saying hello to everybody. Yeah, so yeah, I was, let me see if I can find that pattern really fast. I was looking at different patterns the other night, like what do I want to start? You know, I'm like, I don't need to start a shawl. I don't need to start a shawl. Yes, I do. I want to start a shawl. Let me, okay. So this one is by Kulbara Designs. It's called Aladdin, and this is the one, and I have the exact colors. I have the two different colors of blue and the Aura, which is very similar to the Frank Ochre color. But look at that. Okay, ring light's in the way. There we go. You see that? You see how gorgeous that is? There's lace, there's color work, there's some mosaic stuff. I mean, that is stunning. And very rarely do I get the same yarn that a pattern calls for. You know, because that's just weird, right? But I did. I special ordered the yarn in the exact colors for that. And while I was waiting for that to come in, that's when I saw this and everything. I'm like, oh, maybe I want it with a red. And that's what I was thinking of. And I was thinking about the other night casting it on with this color as opposed to the colors that it actually calls for, which I did specifically buy, which is why I have this. This is one of the colors in it. This is the color, the exact colorway. And these are the other ones. So this is these three are the exact colors in that particular shawl. Yep. Which are stunning. They are absolutely stunning. So I've got options. And I just haven't started it because there's so many other projects. But her designs are just stunning. Absolutely gorgeous and stunning. And I've made one of her patterns before, and I started another one. I liked the geometric shapes on it, and the second one that I started, I was going to turn it into a poncho. So I've taken some liberties with it because, you know, that's what we do. Patterns are suggestions. And it's sitting in timeout over on the other side of the room right now. I really need to pull that back out, not literally pull it out, but pull it back from hiding and, you know, put some more work into it because it's just, you know, gorgeous. That's just how these work. All right, so let me see. I missed some comments because I was showing some stuff off, but at least you can see what I was talking about with the shawls and the colors and how they play well together. I mean, oh my gosh, just gorgeous. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, Susan, you and I have a lot of patterns. Yep. And you know, Deborah, that's what I was thinking too. I wasn't sure if I wanted to. I did specifically buy the blue, and I thought, well, maybe I should work with the blue. I can always get more of the maroon because, you know, not maroon, but, you know, like this color because, hello, it's my favorite. And, you know, every shawl needs this in it. Maybe. But, but what really got me is I have more of this, not this particular ball, but I have more of this, and this is a cotton spark, or not cotton, but a copper sparkle, which they don't really have a whole lot of copper sparkles. And this is, if you're familiar with the yarn brand, this is Madeline Tosh, and it's their copper sparkle way. And I was trying to figure out what pattern, because you know, I have multiple of those, and they're wound, and they're ready, and they're gorgeous. And I just couldn't figure out what pattern to make with them. But I think I might use that maroon. So I do have the 4, right? 4 different ones. Look at those. I mean, just stunning, right? Absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, like a lot of things, we get pretty things. And then it's like, well, what's the wow pattern? And maybe we shouldn't wait for the wow pattern. Maybe we should just use our pretty stuff. And that's what I was thinking of when I came in here with the kind of throwing a monkey wrench into things. Using not what was planned, but use those 3. And I thought that would be pretty nice, especially with the way that design and that color work works, is when you look at it, you don't realize that it's 2 different colors of the blue on here. It's not really a blue, right? So that first one up here, there you go, in the very front right here, that one, you're using this darker color. They're still blues, but you're using the darker one. And then that big one that's by itself, it's this brighter one, right? Yeah, and when you're looking at it, it's like, well, I thought it was all the same. No, it's not, but it's these. And I thought that would be pretty cool. And then adding sparkle, because I like my sparkle. So I think I might actually just go with those maroons. And, you know, my Frank Ochre color is, as we know I like. It's just the best way to do it. It just is. Not everyone likes the mustards, and I get that, but with my skin tone and everything else and the hair color, it just works, and it's just one of my favorites. It's kind of like Crystal from Bag of Day Crochet. Her favorite color is brown, you know, and a lot of people probably look at that like, brown? Really? Brown? No, it's her favorite color. That's the one that really strikes her, and she loves it. Same with me. Mustard, favorite one for wearing, favorite one. You know, my husband likes me in purple. Yep. And let's see. Ooh. My stuff has gone down. Yep, okay. So everyone's still saying hello to each other. This has been so much fun just pulling, and this is why I have such a mess. I had somebody comment on that my yarn wall behind me has changed. It's not necessary that it's changed, it's that when I'm on here or I'm looking, I'm pulling things down and they don't always get put back right. So that's part of it. And the other thing that I noticed too is that is a lot less. Yay! That's my cotton cube for dishcloths and washcloths and things. And I've been making so many washcloths for the American Starfish Organization. It's not full anymore. That's exciting, right? I've actually used some stuff. So there you go. And Coral's saying that she needs to stash dive and find some purpley goodness for a quick birthday project. Coral, what weight of yarn are you looking for? Coral's local. Want to come over? There you go. You know, want to come over tomorrow? You can search my stash. If you tell me what weight of yarn, I might have it. You know, more apt to have the thinner weights than the thicker weights, but you know, I could have it. Just depends on what you're looking for, and what do you have in mind. Let me know. I might have something. I do have some worsted weight purple with sparkle. Oh yeah, I do. That you might be interested in. Depends on what you're making. So think about it. Come on over, do some shopping. And I know Rose would do the same thing. We know that. Yeah. It's nice when you have other yarn addicted friends. We can help each other out. That's how that works. Yeah, it's fun stuff. And so looking at that, so she's like, super bulky. Oh, yeah, you know I don't have super bulky. No, I have some Chanel that's like really bulky, and I do have some blanket yarn that I got on a whim. I don't know what to do with because that's just big stuff. Yeah, she's laughing at me. I know. But, you know, there you go. I've got the smaller stuff, no doubt. Yeah, I'm looking around. Do I have bulky? I have some bulky. I do have some bulky because I know if I say I don't, I know Susan's going to call me out because she did get me some bulky yarn and it's gorgeous. But as far as like purple or anything, no, I don't have anything like that I can think of. Yep. Oh yeah, see, so Amanda has Eva. So Eva is one of Amanda's friends. So she's Amanda is sharing her yarn, some of her yarns, and Eva's going to be totally thrilled, right? I get that. I mean, there's no joke about that. I'll get yarn and everything, and sometimes when it's just a really super great deal, I might get 2 skeins of it or something like that, and one for me and one for a friend. You know, there you go. Or like Coral and I were able to go and have breakfast today, which was wonderful. And if you saw, I did a kind of a little bit of a episode on the Viking Knits book that I'm making my husband's sweater out of, and I saw that they had it on such a great deal. I couldn't pass up getting another copy, so I shared. Like, what, you want to put it at like half price? Yes, I will buy one. I don't need 2 copies, but I will buy another one, and I will share it with somebody else that I think will enjoy it. And that was exactly what I did. I'm like, here, you can have a copy. Hey buddy, you gonna come say hi? Oh no, you're gonna run away? My puppy's like, I want love. Yep. Oh, Amanda, she's not seeing your stash. She's just seen different things as far as like your video, just what you have behind you. Like, you know, like you guys get to see this stuff, that type of a thing. So she hasn't seen everything that you have. I know you've bought quite a bit, so have I, right? You know, I mean, it adds up. But you crochet fast too. So, you know, maybe not. I mean, you definitely move pretty quickly. Yep. Sorry I'm late, but glad I'm still made the live. Oh, you're not late. I didn't announce. Nobody's late. You're still here. There is no one late. Yep. And then Susan says those mustards are pretty by themselves as a garment, in my opinion. However, they really pop when you mix them with other colors. That's what I was thinking, is putting them together, mixing them with the other colors, and either the reds or the blues, the maroons, or something like that. And you know, just having that fun. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of change my color palette a little bit more. Blue is not my color that I normally gravitate towards. It's beautiful, and I appreciate it, but it's not normally my first go-to. That maroon, definitely. The mustards, definitely. You know, the greens, the golds, the autumn colors. So I liked the fact that I was so taken aback by that blue, but I'm probably gonna still do the maroon because that's just more me. It just is. Hey buddy, you wanna come say hi? There's my little guy. He's like, yes, there you go. This is a Shiba. He is Sesame colorway. He's our rescue puppy. Yes, hi buddy. Yeah, he really is. He had a pretty rough beginning to life, so he's special in his own way. He just is. Yeah, buddy. Did you need to go outside? Is that what's going on? Nobody else is here? Well, everybody, I think I'm going to have to say good night because he needs to go out and there's no one in the house here to let him out. It's either that or entertain yourselves for a couple minutes while I run downstairs and let him out. So, you know, let me know. What do you want to do? Do you want me to just run and let him out and come back? Or do you want me to end it? I'm just waiting on some comments and everything, and that'll tell me what I'm going to be doing. So give me your feedback on that one. Anything? Any, either way? One way or the other? Good? Yes? No? Well, I'm going to go run oh, wait. Okay, I'm going to go run, let him out, and if people are here when they come back, yay! I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Let him out. I'm back. So you know the funny thing that he does? He has me trained. Like most good dogs, they have their owners trained. So he definitely says he wants to go out. But then he'll go out and he won't leave the deck. He walks out to the outside of the door, turns around and looks at me like, give me a treat. Let me back in, give me a treat. Because that's what he does. Even when it's cold, because we're in Colorado, even when it's cold and snowy like it was last year, he was out there lifting his paws up, one at a time, but he wouldn't come in unless we gave him a treat. He's spoiled. You know, he's definitely a spoiled puppy. No doubt about it. Yep. Okay, so everyone's still saying hi. Hello? Yeah, I'm like running up and down the stairs. But yeah, he is a quirky thing. For the first 5-6 months, we got him about 6 months old, and didn't have a good upbringing, is a good way to put it. He was just like this shy of feral. When we got him, he had just been bitten in the face, so he had the little mark on his nose. His ear was bit clean through, and when you look at him, he's missing part of his lip because it was bit off. And so, you know, a little bit, he dealt with some food aggressive. He dealt with, you know, some things that weren't quite pleasant for a puppy. And there's just, in noises. He was in Center, Colorado. I didn't know that was a place, but it really is, which is very remote. So noises he wasn't used to. TV he's not used to. Any noises he's not used to. So everything freaked him out. He was skittish on everything. For whatever reason, my husband scares him. My husband's a teddy bear. He scares him. He wouldn't even take meat from my husband's hand. We're getting it to now that we've had him for a little over a year. He'll take food from my husband, but he's still skittish, and my husband's the one that feeds the dogs. And we've done that for a reason, right? He's the one that feeds them to try to get him a little bit better. But he is such a quirky little thing. He's just, you know, he's his own little whatever. He's adorable. He's coming around. It's taken a lot longer than we expected, but he's coming around, and he's definitely my dog. When I'm coming home from work and I'll call my husband and he's got me on speakerphone, you can hear him in the background. He'll make noises. He'll come in the house. He'll look around like, hey, where's mom? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? You know, I think that's adorable. And when it gets stormy, he's afraid of the storms. Right? He'll come in and he'll sit on my lap. And he's done that is afraid of my husband as he is. He knows my husband is the alpha, and he knows my husband will protect him. So if there's a storm and I'm at work and it's, you know, windy and thundery and stuff like that, he's jumped in my husband's lap. And I would not have believed it except he sent me a picture. And he's like, he's in his lap, sitting on the couch and everything and shaking, poor little guy. But the storm is scarier than my husband evidently, because he knows my husband will protect him. He's just, he's just the funniest thing. So who knows what goes through his mind. And he's very inquisitive. He looks up. He's got very inquisitive eyes. He will follow you with his eyes, you know, to make sure he knows where you're at. You know, and then get to where you can't actually catch him. He wants you to pet him, but he doesn't want you to touch him. It's the weirdest thing ever. So that's my puppy. That's my puppy. Yep. And Stephanie says that her dogs have her trained too. They wake me before they will wake my husband because they know I'll respond first. Yeah, I get that. Oh my gosh. So it's the same thing. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. About 6:30, I'm getting up. I don't want to get up, but he wants to go out, and he'll jump in the bed, and there's been times where he'll just lick my face like he's trying to wash my face. Yeah, that'll wake you up. You know, you got that. Or one of the things, if I'm in my yarn room, and, you know, I don't always have socks on, right? Depending on the year, right? And he'll lick my feet. That means he wants to go out. He just licks my feet and my toes like it's some gourmet treat or something. It's the weirdest thing. Like, okay, got it. You know, he wants to go out. It's just, there's just different quirks. And you'll look at him and say, do you want to go out? And then, you know, the perks up and gets all excited. So yeah, they have us trained 100%. It would be nice if we could train him, but he's trained us. And then because he's been so skittish and he had that harder upbringing, there are things that, you know, normally you tell a dog no and be stern. Well, you don't really want to do that with somebody, you know, a little puppy that was that skittish, you know, so he gets away with things. He just does. I'm like, oh, we've taught him bad things. We've taught him how to bag, you know, we taught him bad things because, you know, for the puppy that wouldn't come to you, especially with my husband, you know, the last thing you want to do is push them away if they're so afraid of people anyway. And he's not, he loves kids. Absolutely loves kids. The grandkids, oh my gosh, he loves them. Babies are great. Kids are great. It's the adults that he's afraid of. Yeah. So at least he's not, you know, like you're worried about being dangerous around the kids. That's not a thing. He loves the kids. Let's see. And let's see, what else do we have? Maritza's saying hello. Oh, Lori's classroom stories and crochet. Oh, she's just saying hello to everybody. Michelle says she speaks dog better than English. Yeah, sometimes it's easier, right? Sometimes it is a little bit easier. Me Jane says, I'm spinning dog undercoat. It's such a fun project. I've seen that done. I've not done any spinning. I don't need another craft. I've been really thinking about getting a sewing machine lately. I don't need another craft. I don't need to sew. I don't. I don't want to get into spinning. I don't need to collect more stuff. I'm not sure where it would go. I think it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. 100%. No. And it's like Crystal from Hook That Yarn. She keeps doing the needle felting and is amazing. She does the eyes and stuff. And that really adds a lot of character to the creations. No. I did needle felting before. Needle felting uses little barbed needles, and that's my joke, you know, running back and forth with her. It's like, oh no, that's bloodletting. I gave all my needle felting away to a friend of mine years ago, and she did amazing. Holy gosh, she made some gorgeous things. I did not want to get stabbed with that needle. That's bloodletting. Nope, little barbed needle. But the talent some people have with that and what they can create is just stunning. I mean, wow. You know, I can knit and I can crochet and I can do things. It's kind of like the similar with people who can really draw. That's not my forte. You might be able to tell that I'm trying to draw a person. You know, I can do better than a stick person, but not a lot better, you know? I mean, not a lot better. But, oh my God. Yeah, I would like to be able to draw better. Like, some people, when they're creating designs, you know, the different designs and everything, and they'll kind of sketch out. Like I was watching one of the videos Expression Fiber Arts had, I think her name is Chandy, you know, and she was showing on that and everything, and she was drawing, and the drawings were fantastic. I'm like, oh, you can actually, they're beautiful, and you can recognize it. That is not the case when I draw. I do abstract because, yeah, you can't recognize what it's supposed to be, so I might as well go abstract. I mean, so I think that would be a really fantastic talent to have, to be able to draw the things out and then try to create it with either the fabric arts, right, crocheting or knitting, something along that line. I just don't have it to that degree. No. Maybe you have the ability to draw. I don't. No. No. Nope. Yeah, Me Jane, Shiba's are smart and loyal. He is a very, very smart dog. We have 3 Shibas. The older 2 are like 11, and they're not brother and sister, but it is male and female. They're like 6 months apart. They were not, obviously not the same litter. We got the female, and then the breeder that we got her from, she was 6 months old when we got her, and she was shown in Michigan as a potential show dog. They did not like the way that she showed, so they gave her back to the breeder. I guess, like show dogs, that's what they do. And she was sold as a pet, obviously fixed, spayed, all that stuff, but sold as a pet quality, not as good. She's gorgeous. She's absolutely beautiful. Nothing wrong with her. We're like, yes, please, because we wanted a Shiba, and that was beautiful. And then we got our male, an Air Force couple got him in Japan. So he's papered, and all of his paperwork is in Japanese, right? So we can't read it, but there you go. And he was papered and everything. They got him in Japan, brought him back to the United States, when they were transferred back to the United States. And the woman pregnant, and I don't know, he barked something. Yeah, he barked, and they couldn't have him wherever they were at. So they ended up giving him to this breeder that we got our female from. And they contacted us and said, hey, we've got this male. Do you want him? We got him. He's a spaz. He's a spaz. He just is. We love him. And the two of those two, the dynamic is like Garfield. Garfield and Odie. Our female is Garfield 100%, and the little boy, the male, was Odie. And he just wanted to play. Like Odie would jump up and down, next to the counter and jump up and down, and Garfield would go and smack him. Yeah, that was those two. Our male just wanted a friend, just wanted to play, just wanted to be happy, and she's kind of fat too, so that fits for the whole Garfield thing. Wasn't always fat, we just feed them well. And she was always that, it's like, get away from me, just the whole Garfield attitude. And now we've got the puppy, 10 years they're younger, and he plays. And they both play with him, and that's really nice, because they both act like puppies again now, so that works out well. But 3 Shibas is a lot. They are something, and they are smart, and they are inquisitive. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Where was they at? So spinning the dog fur, which is awesome. Aaron Kress, hello back. I'm Susan, pleased to meet you. Susan's introducing herself to people. Very cool, Me Jane. Okay, so Amanda says, my black lab sheds so much, probably could make yarn with it. I think the shedding you could, but I don't know with the short fur like that. The Shibas have a double coat, so they do have an undercoat. So when they blow coat, they blow coat something hard. And so do Akitas. We had Akitas previously, and they lived into their 14, 15 years old. And, then they unfortunately passed on, but that's what happens. And then we ended up with the Shibas, which is, the smaller dog breed. They're very similar, quirky, very intelligent, very loyal. They definitely have the same fur with them. Oh, no doubt on that one. It doesn't matter how much you brush them, they're blowing coat. But they're wonderful. I mean, don't they bring a lot of joy in our lives, our pets? I mean, regardless of what kind of dog it is. Let's see. So Deborah, if you were asking me, mine is the Shibas. With that, so try to give your dog CBD from a vet. It used to help my dog during storms. Not a bad idea. We haven't done that. And the other thing too, people talked about the little thunder coats. The snug wrapping around t-shirt type of a thing that helps to compress and everything, where they feel like they're being hugged. And I've known people that have used those for their dogs, and they've seemed to help their dogs during those time periods. We just keep forgetting to buy it. We think about it when the storm happens, and then we don't. Which we could, maybe next time during the storm, I could actually get on Amazon and order the thing, so it'll be here next time when we do have a storm. That might be smart. But yeah, I haven't been that bright yet. So I've thought about them, but just haven't done it. I'm like, oh, that would be a good idea. Let's see. And Stephanie wants to learn how to, Stephanie, if you don't have Crystal from Hook That Yarn, you should look her up. She does the needle felting and she shows that on some of her lives. And you have to just go through some of her stuff. She's got a playlist and she does a really, really good job. And then of course there's other tutorials out there, but she's one that I've definitely seen and I've watched, and she does it on the Pokemon, the Pokemon stuffed critters that she makes, and she puts the eyes on that and she'll show those. And that's pretty cool. I'm not doing it, but it's cool. And I can definitely appreciate it because she gets a lot of definition with that you just don't get with some of the other mediums. And I got some definition on this critter. Look at this. That's my love bug, Layla the love bug. Layla the love bug has been ahead for like 10 years. Yeah, she really has. Somewhere in my house, this is Red Heart, I have the rest of the yarn to make her. And I have the printed off pattern to finish her. And I know this as we moved in this house a little over a year ago, and before we moved, I packed up all my yarn and everything, and I had labeled everything at that point, and I had the yarn. I think I know where it could be. Oh, I think it's my closet. In my closet, I have some plastic bins stacked up to about the ceiling, and I think it might be in one of those. Oh, yeah. She could get a body in the next 10 years. I'm not pushing it and I'm not promising, but this is Layla the love bug. K4TT is the designer. You can see her on Ravelry. K4TT. So that's this one, and that's also this one. This is the same designer. There we go. And this yarn, it's cute. I got this yarn. It was in my stash. I got it when I was in Germany. I was in Germany from 1987 to 1989. So when I tell you my yarn collection spans the decades, I'm not joking. So that's where this one came from. And this was also made a little over a decade ago. But point is, I got the yarn between 1987 and 1989. But if you're interested in those patterns, no affiliation, K4TT on Ravelry, and you'll find them. So there you go. Fun stuff, right? Talk about blast from the past. Yeah, I have some old yarn. Yarn holds up really well. I have some old yarn, and it's mine originally. It's not necessary. Yeah, I've got stuff from other people's stashes, but it's not necessary from somebody else's stash. I bought it originally. So, that was funny. Let's see. So Me Jane said it's the only thing that she spins. I learned about spinning just to spin dog hair. It took me 3 years to make 2 hats. That's funny. But you made them. You did it. And let's see. Smart, I have too many options, so can be overwhelmed and do nothing. That is not good. So on that one, we all have options, right? And that can definitely do that. If you're looking for something and you want guidance, how many options do you have? What is it you're making? And how many options? If it's a hat and you've got 10 different patterns, then go ahead and put it on the random wheel for, one of the random comment pickers. If you're old school, then get the hat, so to speak, and put 10 little pieces of paper in them, 1 through 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10. Those are your patterns. Pick that out, and that's what you're making. There you go. You've made a decision 100% and go. Make sure that the ones that you wanted to make are really what you wanted to make. And there you go. And then you're not paralyzed with that choices and options and what if and what do I make next. Do it that way. And if there's 10 things that you definitely want to make and you don't know what order, go that way. And then the next time you do it, the next time you do it, now you have 9 pieces of paper and then 8. But if you're like me, you've added 3 more, But I want to make this one and I want to make that one, and that one has bobbles. Did you see that? I like my bobbles. Right? But that's another way to make sure that you're continuing on and not being paralyzed by the options. Yep, there you go. There's the tip of the day. Let's see. So, too many options. Let's see. You need to mix 50% wool to the dog undercoat because dog fur does not have enough crinkle to spin well. I think that's why Crystal did that. Crystal from Bag A Day Crochet, she did that with her dog, Doug. and she had the mix between the dog fur and the other fur, and then she had somebody else knit a cardigan for her. So I thought that was just the coolest thing. So she's always wrapped with Doug, and she's wrapped in love because she loves her dogs just like we do. Yep. Yeah, Deborah, I can draw a stick figure too, and I can put a little bit of character to it, but not a lot. You know, let's not get carried away. What I think is funny, you've seen advertisements like little kids drawings, you know, and they're drawing a house and they're drawing mommy and they're drawing daddy and they're drawing a tree and everything. And I'm over here going, an adult drew that. That wasn't a kid. An adult drew that, because I compare it to my drawing skills. And in some of those things I'm looking at, and I'm not going to lie, the kid does better. I'm not going to lie. It just, some like that, no, that's an adult version of what a kid draws. You know, especially if you're watching TV shows and they're like, hey, Johnny drew this. And they have the things on the refrigerator. That's an adult version. Maybe. Either that or those kids are just that much better than me. Could be. It could be. I don't know. Ooh, Coral found some purple chunky yarn. Not super bulky, but it'll work. Good. Yeah, because I don't have anything that would work for you on that one. You'd have to double up anything I have. I don't have the... I'm looking around and yeah, I don't have the big yarns. That's you and Rose. I don't have the big yarns. Yep. And Susan's knitting with hand spun now. Susan, is it something that you spun yourself or did somebody else spin it? Oh, you've got the roving and everything that Waze dyed, so you've got that. And Me Jane says, my former dog was a Sheltie and my friend had a black sheep called Domino and the wool and the fur was a perfect... Oh, wow. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So then not only did you do that, then you have the hats that have more of a special meaning on top of it. Yeah, I think that's just... to spin your own yarn, to make it, to spin it, to create it, to actually come up with a full project, every step of the way is amazing. I'm doing great with my knitting and crocheting, but I think it's just adding just that, elevating it even more when you've done it from, hey, look, I have fluff. Look what I turned my fluff into. Yeah, that's impressive. That is impressive. That really is. Me Jane says, you cannot spin that loose fur. It needs to be the undercoat. Oh, we've got some undercoat. Oh, we got some undercoat. Yeah, there's no doubt. Sheba's, they've got some undercoat. Yep. Deborah says, I used to have a Samoan, but looking before I was into yarn like I am now. Yeah, I get that. And Coral says, they have them at the pet place next to our breakfast place. Okay. Me Jane says, the CBD you put on the treats, it needs to build up in their system bit by bit, and during the storm you give a full dose. Yeah, I've not done that. I mean, it wasn't until recently that I used some of the CBD, like a roll-on kind of a thing. My husband's used it for a while, different things with his back or his feet or something like that. And then I had a little bit of a bout of plantar fasciitis. Yeah, if you've ever had it, that's not cool. That's a horrible pain. And it's gone now. Yep, praise the Lord, it is gone. But I did use some. He suggested I use some, and I did use that. That helped. I also had orthotics, and then changed a lot of the things that I was doing that made it bad. And there you go. Praise the Lord. Much better. So, yeah. So that was my first foray into it. But he's used it for, like, he had frozen shoulder for a while, and that really helped to relieve that, gave his body a chance for it to heal. So, not against it, just haven't really used it. Let's see. And Coral says, kind of fun having the head too. Let's see. Stephanie says, love it. Yes, I've seen several tutorials for felting over crochet amigurumi, and no time right now due to school. Yeah, school. Nope. Don't want to go there. Yeah. Bless you. Yeah. Yeah. School is hard. Not always, but you know, I mean, come on. It's just like, it really gets in the way. There's work, and there's dinner, and there's crafting, and then you want me to put school in there? You know I have to sleep. I like my beauty rest. I need my beauty rest. No. Me Jane says, I fell in love with the idea of dog yarn when I found about Shed Happens and spins Persian cat fur. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds really nice. The lab has hair, but Sheba has fur. It's different. Yeah, the Sheba definitely has fur. We just had him groomed, and there was a lot of brushing going on, and the groomer's like, yeah, they did the the de-shed, they did the shedding calm, and they did the shedding shampoo, and they did something else. They did like 3 iterations through them, and they still have fur coming off. They look a whole lot better, absolutely. But they have a lot of fur. That's a good way to put it. They have a lot of fuzz. They are fluffy critters. And then Stephanie says, I get my yarn fixed by watching videos while working on school. Oh yeah, I do too. I have all of this and everything, and then, just like everyone else, my collection can kind of grow because I'm influenced by other people. Maybe I should turn the TV off for YouTube a little more often. I don't know. Jennifer's got me, Cinema Stitches. She's gotten me with Premier Yarns more than once. Crystal's gotten me, inadvertently, showing me different yarns that I didn't know that were out there. And then seeing them, yeah, obviously I'm not seeing them in person, but seeing them in somebody else's hand, you kind of get more of an idea. A little bit more so. I've bought yarn. I don't have a problem buying yarns online. Some of them I'm a little iffy on, like ice yarns. I've not bought ice yarns online yet. I have some ice yarns. I've used ice yarns, and the ones that I've used, I've enjoyed. But when you're reading the description and it says acrylic, I don't have a problem with acrylic, but not all acrylic's the same. Is it the good acrylic I want to work with, or is it the acrylic that no amount of hair conditioner bath is going to make a difference? And it doesn't really say that on there, right? That this is the good stuff and this is the stuff that you want to run from. And it's the same with wool. I love wool. I love the feel of wool, but not all wool is created equal. And I don't mind toothy wool, and it depends on what the yarn is for, right? But what am I actually getting? So I haven't done the ice order yet. I will end up doing one because, I'll finally succumb. Because, I don't know how many times. It's literally been years. I've been filling my cart and letting it go. And filling it, because I go through and dream and play with colors and stuff like that. So I haven't ordered from them yet. I have ordered, like I said, Hobby. And have you gotten the... Hobby has the universal yarn. Let me grab it. I have some. It's in my sparkle bin because it's sparkly. It's right over here. Ugh. Let's see. Yarn down, yarn down. There's an avalanche over here. It's just everything fell out. Yeah, a lot fell out. So this is one of them that I got. And I got some of the other colors. So they have gorgeous colors, right? And it doesn't feel horrible. It really doesn't. But, everyone's talking about how soft it is. Oh, it's so soft. It's wonderful. It's luscious. And maybe I'm just a snob. Again, it's not bad, but you can feel that sparkle. You can really feel, it's beautiful. I mean, that is a pretty, pretty cake of yarn. But that sparkle is there. That's a good way to put it. And I did some hats. I paired this up with some, I've got the Christmas one, which is the red and green. And I paired it up with another yarn and made hats for my granddaughters. And they love them because obviously it's sparkle and it's pretty and it's gorgeous. But this to me wasn't as nice as I was hoping. It does have the wool feel to it. Let's see what's in this one. Universal sock wool, 74% wool, 24% polyamide. So for socks, not a bad thing at all. I was wanting, and they have this in bigger yarns too, and I was wanting this to be more like a shawl or something along that line. And I think for socks, it probably would be perfect because it's more of a it's toothier than what I thought it was going to be, the way everyone was describing it. But it's not like the shawl that I was expecting or wanting with that gorgeous sparkle. And I do have more than one color of this stuff. And so that was one of them. That color is gorgeous. The feel was not where I was wanting it to be. And other people opening it. And I've seen some people that have commented that it's a little rougher than what they had expected. But a lot of people are like, oh, it's so soft. It's so nice. It's gorgeous. Oh, it's gorgeous. It is beautiful. But it's not buttery soft. It's and you can feel, you know how some yarns you can feel this? You can feel all of that sparkle. And that, to me, like a garment, would be irritating. I love wool. If it didn't have the sparkle in it, it'd be fine. But I got it because it has the sparkle in it. The sparkle is gorgeous. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Some yarns, the sparkle doesn't have a negative effect on it. You don't really feel it. You see it, it's gorgeous, but you don't really feel it. This one you feel. So that was kind of disappointing. Your mileage may vary. Has anyone else got this and used this? Again, they do have it in the bigger yarn. They have the XL, which is like double this, so it might be worsted, but they do have the XL. This is the fingering. Fingering's one of my favorites. But has anyone else used it? And what did you think of it? Am I being like the Lion brand Chanel glow in the dark yarn? Am I just being too harsh on it? Maybe. I'll give it to my husband and see what he says. Maybe he'll say I'm just being a baby. He could. I don't know. Yep. He might. Justine, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Justine's saying that she loves how I've taken off with my channel. I've been having fun with my channel. I have really enjoyed connecting with so many people, and I have people here local, like Coral's here local, and everything that I get together and I knit with and I crochet with, and I really enjoy that. But they're not available 24/7, right? You know, and this has been a lot of fun being able to connect with other like-minded people and talking about yard and not driving my husband nuts. I drive him nuts. I do. I drive him nuts. I do. I read a comic strip earlier today that I thought was hilarious. So it was, I forget that it's a well-known established comic, but I can't remember the people. You know, you got the older gentleman and husband and wife, and he's looking at her and she's working on something, right? A craft and everything. And he says, "What are you crocheting?" And then she goes into the dissertation, which she's knitting, and knitting is 2 sticks and a string, and crocheting's the bent hook, you know, and she's explaining all this stuff. And then the final square is he's looking and saying, "You know, you make this really hard for me to pretend like I'm interested." I thought that was hilarious. It's like, woman, I don't care. I pretended like I was interested in what you're working on. Why do you have to make this difficult? I think I laughed too hard at that. I really did. That was just, I think some of us can relate to that, you know, to a little bit. I know. My husband's very supportive. He buys me yarn. Yep. Let's see. Megan says she's going to make a video when she starts to cart her new service undercoat. My BFF just gave me, oh, you're gonna show how to do it. That's cool. Yeah. And Deborah has a YouTube playlist of things that she wants to make. Like, I've not done all that. I just realized with my own channel that you can make playlists. Yeah, I didn't know that before. So, you know, making lists and everything for me personally of, hey, let me save this video. I didn't know I could do that. Now I do. But yeah, I've got a list now of things that I want to watch and rewatch and stuff. But I didn't know that. That's, you know, we're all learning. Every day we learn. Yep. Mejan says, yes, I say I learned to spin. The class I took entailed choose the sheep, get the fleece, clean, sort. Ooh, that's a lot. Yeah, believe me, dog fur is much cleaner than a fleece. Yeah, I can imagine that. Yep, yep. Susan says she has some Noro pencil roving that she plied with Way's hand spun, and her spinning, my spinning is bad. I ruin good wool. You're hilarious. You don't ruin it. It's just, it's got character. You've got some bumpy bits and some thin bits. It's not ruined. It's that eclectic hand-done skein that would be sold in a high-end boutique for way too much money because it's unique and one of a kind. You really have to market yourself better. That's all there is to it. It's all in the marketing and the wording. You've got this. It is eclectic, beautiful, one of a kind. Definitely not ruined. Definitely. See, don't you feel better? I mean, marketing. It's it. It's all the marketing. It's all the way you look at it. I ruin the yarn. You don't ruin it. No, you don't. Let's see. All right. Oh, and Stephanie was saying, yes, they both get me too. Juan the Yarn Addict is another one I found due to Bag a Day. Yeah, she definitely throws some people out there, and you start watching them, you're like, oh, man. Maritzi, good night. You have a nice night. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, Crystal does. She's definitely thrown some people out there that I have started watching, and you know, my whole YouTube universe has definitely gotten a lot bigger. I have videos on, if I'm not at work, I have videos on pretty much constantly, and sometimes I just let the thing run all night. You know, it's background noise, things like that. So I'll put it on a channel, and if they have a playlist of all my stuff or whatever, I'll just let that run, and I'll hear the different voices, you know. Some people have really nice voices. You can easily do that. Comfortable, very soothing, easy to listen to. Okay, just there. I don't think I'm the only one. Let's see. And Coral says she bought the Pretty Rainbow Ice yarn from the sale that I sent. Well, yeah, Coral got the Picasso from Ice. And that was out for a little while. The Picasso is one that Crystal from Bag O' Day really likes to do for her stitch definitions, and you know, just the different stitch tutorials, because of it's got a very short color repeat and it's beautiful. So yeah, Coral got some of that. Oh, you can give the dogs melatonin? Drug the doggy? Poor puppy. I didn't know that. Let's see. Yeah, and Coral's agreeing with me. Sparkle can be itchy. Yeah, Coral, this doesn't have any alpaca in it or whatever. I'll let you feel it, and you can tell me if I'm just being too harsh. And it could be me. It really could. You know, because I'm feeling it right now, and it's not. Yeah, you can still feel the sparkle. But it's not as bad as what I thought it was at first. So maybe it is me. But you can definitely feel that sparkle. So, yep. And Brandon said, I got it to have tubes made, but the sparkle changed my mind. It just sits on my shelf for me to look at. So Brandon, was it this that you got, the universal, to make things? And didn't like it? See, I love the sparkle, but the feel. And other yarns have sparkle and it doesn't bother me. So it's that particular one. And say I'm working on a Biscotti yarn pattern called the Unpredictable Shawl Pattern. They have both knit and crochet versions. It is 6 yarns and 6 pattern sections. You roll 2 dice. Ooh, that sounds fun. I like that. A little bit of a chance, a little bit of chaos. I like the chaos. And Cindy says, Cindy's saying hi to everybody. And she's had lots of fun listening. Thank you very much. Very pleasant conversation. Thank you. Yep. Yeah. Evidently, I can talk a lot. And it's really nice to have this venue because I'm not driving my husband nuts. Because sometimes at the end of the day, he just wants to veg. And he doesn't want to listen to me chatter like this. I'm like, honey, look at my new pattern. Look at my pattern and I want to do this. And then, you know, he's interested, but he can only feign interest for so long. Yeah. So this is a really good outlet and he really appreciates it too. He really does. He's like, why don't you go talk to your friends? Okay. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Mija. Yeah, I get that. My last one. Oh, yeah, I've got my last live. I stayed on a little bit too long and my phone died and I couldn't get back into my live to shut it down properly. So it was me talking about jewelry on like the last sentence for 10-15 minutes before YouTube shut it down. But I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into my live. It said it was still going, but it wouldn't let me in. So maybe other people know how to do that so they can shut it down gracefully, but no. Yeah. So I'm not going to let that happen this time. I made sure that it was fully charged before I got online. And that was smart. But, you know, it was pretty charged last time, but I was chattering for a while. Evidently, I've got a lot to talk about and I'm long-winded. Yeah. Yeah. I grew up with my mom. Yeah, my mom and my dad. I was adopted 12 days before I turned 10. And we lived out in the country. And it was just fantastic. It really, my mom was the greatest. And it was just the two of us. I had, through the adoption, I had 2 older sisters and an older brother, but they didn't live in the house anymore. They were older than me, 13 years older, so they were already out of the house. And it was just me and Mom. And Dad worked night shift. So, you know, he was gone when I was awake, let's put it that way. So it was just the two of us, and we would talk all day. And she was so patient because she just let me chatter on. I just chattered on. You know, I had stories. I had 10 years of life I had to tell her about, and I did over and over on repeat. But that's okay. She got me back. You know, because she had her stories that were on repeat too. So it was 2 peas in a pod, and we would. It was just the two of us, and it was. She's the one that taught me how to crochet, and I taught myself how to knit, but she taught me how to crochet, and we were always doing crafts, and she would work on her quilts. So she hand sewed quilts. She was legally blind, hand-sewed quilts, taught me how to crochet, did canning, taught me how to garden. I didn't pay much attention because, you know, last time I gardened was with her when I was a little kid, and now I'm trying to figure it out again. And it was absolutely amazing, but we talked about everything. Nothing was off limits. You know, it was just me and mom. And, you know, I have a really good imagination. I have a very good imagination. Yeah. Because, you know, it's just the two of you and you're out in the country and everything. And then, you know, this is before you had all the things that we have now. Obviously, we didn't have internet. And this is when you had three TV stations. You know, you had ABC, NBC, and CBS. And sometimes you would have that, like, channel 20 or something. You know, it was like that channel 20 or channel 50 if you got it. And that TV wasn't 24/7 back then. You know, I know, depending on your age, you're like, what? I know, it's a thing. But, yeah, so you had an imagination. You did things. I played Monopoly by myself. You know, I would be multiple pieces. In any of the board games I played, I was both opponents. You know, I was the red team, the blue team, and the whatever, right? You know, and you just did things with imagination. You had a lot of things going on in your head. Yeah, it's true. And because of that, you know, being in the foster care system, wouldn't recommend it. But being in the foster care system, they do like the little evals and stuff before they like send you off and everything and you get adopted. And yeah, I had that, and I got to read some of my paperwork as an adult. And that's what was commented on with the evaluations and everything, is I had an above average active imagination. Yes, yes, I do. Yes. It's, you know, it served me well, right? You know, I can entertain myself is a good way to put it. Not everyone can. Some people need somebody else right there. Oh no, I can entertain myself. And I'm in this room all by myself. Oh yeah, I can entertain myself. That's how that works. Let's see. So I bought my crochet project bag to my job last summer to show the security guard because she was a yarny person too. Oh, nice. Yeah, my work knows that I have this channel. And it's so cute because, you know, I was coming in and, you know, beginning my channel and everything. I was like, look, I have 200 subscribers, you know. And then my boss, he's hilarious. He is absolutely hilarious. Whether he means to be or not, doesn't matter. He is hilarious. And I'd come in and everything, and he's like, what are you at now? And he'd ask me, you know, I'm like, that's weird, right? But weird in a good way. You know, he's like, what are you at now? And he's like, ooh, I expect you to be over 350 next week, or, you know, you should have like 400 or something like that. And they do. They cheer me on, which is funny because, again, I work in a tech industry, has nothing to do with the softer yarn arts, but I'm like, look, I have subscribers. People are interested. You're like, okay. As they give me like the virtual pat on the head. I know. But I bring life into the office. Everyone's so serious. You should lighten up a little, right? Everyone's so serious. It's so true. So true. Let's see. Yeah. So when I took out the bag to show her, other coworkers were there and asked what I was knitting. The security guard looked at them and said, it's crochet. Ooh, there you go. That's nice. Oh, hi, Nanette. How are you doing tonight? Nice to have you here. Let's see. My mom and I used to give our dog rescue remedy to calm her when she traveled. What's a dog rescue remedy? Is that something, a homemade concoction that you had to come up with to, you know, not really drug your dogs, but kind of drug your dogs? Let's see. And Brandon said, yes, I was going to have sock tubes made from it. I think the thin weight plays a big part of the texture. So do you have he's talking about this, the fingering weight or the thicker? So, oh, you know what? You're probably right. So if you have the worsted weight and it still has the sparkle, wouldn't it be a little softer? Maybe you can feel the sparkle, but not quite as much. But here, the sparkle is, you know, not much different from the yarn. Maybe. It might be a good point. That's an interesting way to put it. Susan said, no, it's bad. I'm a person who, when I try something new, either I get it right away or I don't get it. I don't get it when it comes to spinning, so I don't spin. I don't need that in my life anyway. No, you don't need another craft. You have plenty. You have plenty of yarn. Now, if you really wanted to spin, by all means, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. But don't feel bad either. You have a lot of things and you have a lot of creativeness in you. I've seen it. And you have a lot of things that you can make and do with the things that you have. Yes. Yeah, Susan and I are friends. Actually, she's in Maryland and I'm back in Colorado. But we got to spend a lot of time going yarn shopping and hopping and creating things together when I was in Maryland. Let's see. Rumi Mills, she's another crafter, and her mother is also blind. No, I didn't. I'm gonna have to look her up. Yeah, my mother is gone now. She's since gone, but she has an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. RP for sure for is the acronym, and it's a hereditary eye disease. So what I always said was I got the family without the genes. Since I don't have that, I'm not genetically related to my family, so I didn't get the genetic faults and flaws, right? We all have those. So that worked out really well. So I'm the one that has the good eyes. But it is hereditary. It does cause night blindness and tunnel vision. And she was deemed legally blind in 1971. I was born in 69. Yeah, it was just one of those that mom just couldn't see really well. She hand quilted, did a great job. She could see, again, tunnel vision type of a situation, but just really dark and just like you're looking through a tube. And then it got worse. And my sister is blind now completely. So I'll send her things. And she watches my channel too. And I'll send her things, and I sent her a bag, the black version of this. Amazon said I needed this, and Amazon was right. So this is just a backpack, and it came across my Amazon feed. And you can look these up, embroidered boho type bags. Look them up on Amazon. And, obviously the different sellers and everything, you can get it anywhere from like $18 to 20 some dollars. And I got mine, the black version with all the pretty embroidery. And then I liked it so much I sent her one because I didn't need more than one. And then I bought another one, sent it to another friend because, I liked them, and Amazon said I needed more. And then I obviously got this pretty cream colored one with the purple. And when my sister got hers, she called me and she's like, "What color is this? What does this look like?" And I'm like, "Vivi, it's all the colors. It's black with all the colors." So, because hey, the disease finally got her. She used to be able to see and everything, and it just progressively got worse. And yeah, so I'll send her different things. Or she's gotten a couple of my sweaters, and I'm like, "Well, what color do you like?" And of course, black. I don't want to make a black sweater, right? So that's the joke, is I'll send her something and tell her it's black. And, that's not nice. But, I'm like, "Oh no, I'll tell her." Like the one sweater I sent her, it was some of this yarn. Ugh, got it. Some of this, but it was a different colorway, and you see how that's got the black stripes in it and everything. So the colorway that I sent her, I think it was like comic strip or something, and it looked like the old comic books, all the colors that in a comic strip that you would see on Sundays with that black in there. And so I sent her that, and it's soft. It's like a big hug. She liked it. So, oh no, actually, no, I sent her the black and gray one. I gave that one to another girlfriend because, I thought maybe she would, whatever. But, I'll tell her the colors, and I'll try to describe the colors, so she doesn't wear plaid and checkers or something. I don't know. The other ladies and her friends will tell her what it is. But, so those are some of the things. And she claims a lot of my stuff because she listens to the videos too. So it's funny. She'll, I'll talk about different things, and she's like, "Oh, has somebody claimed that? I would like that. I want a sweater. I want another one." So she did. She got 2 sweaters last year, and which was pretty incredible because there was a good 10+ year spell I didn't make a single sweater. I kept saying every year was like, "This is the year of the sweater. I'm going to make a sweater this year. It's going to happen. I'm going to make a sweater. I'm going to make a sweater. I'm going to make a sweater." Nope, didn't make a sweater. I might make like 100 projects throughout the year. Some that are this big, some of them are full, right? But whatever. No sweater. I was knitting enough. No sweater. I started them. Definitely didn't make them. So this last year or so, to make as many sweaters as I actually finished, that's the key. You can start all you want, but that I actually finished was really impressive. And that was pretty cool. This was surprising. It says it's a worsted weight. It worked up the best using size 9s. Holy cow, when you knit on 9s, it's fast. Wow, that's fast. Did we tell you that I like my fingering weight yarn? I really do. So working on something like this on size 9s, oh, you can just zoom through it. Who knew? Like everyone else in the world, who knew, right? So I am learning bigger yarn's kind of cool. You know, I don't know. As I can hear everyone through the screen laughing. I can really hear you guys all laughing, going, hello, of course bigger yarn's going to go faster. Yeah, I know, but I wasn't using it. It's just, you know, I got my little yarns. As I'm over here going, I can make a sweater out of this, you know. It's just too scratchy for me. But I'm like, what? You size 9s? That's really fast. That's very fast. That's cool. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, so I have to do that. It said, that's a good mom. You were blessed to go be. Oh yeah, I was, Deborah. There's no doubt. I used to pray that God would give my mom back, as I just knew that, because I was an older child when I was given up. You know, there's just extenuating circumstances, right? Everyone has their story. But you know, I wasn't a baby, so I knew I was in foster care. I knew that these people were not my biological parents, that type of a thing. 12 days before 10, yeah, kind of figure it out. But I never prayed for a dad. I didn't have a dad in my life previously, so I didn't pray for one. And what I always say is God answered my prayers in such a way above and beyond anything that I ever prayed for, because I got a mom and I got a dad, and the blessings were just more than doubled, and it was so fulfilling for my entire life. They gave me a love. I mean, just so much love and a foundation for my life and stability and just, you know, just that family life that I craved so very much. And it's made me what I am. It really has, you know, gave me that foundation that, you know, every child needs a good foundation. And that's what they did. And, you know, I couldn't have been more blessed. It was at a church picnic that I met them. So the church, it wasn't a church that they went to, and it wasn't a church that we went to. They had put on an adoption fair. Yes, it sounds like exactly what you're thinking of. You know how different places will put on puppy adoptions? It was like that, but only with people. And they put on this adoption fair. So the children that are there are available for adoption. You had different colored name tags. You know, depending on the color name tag meant you were available for adoption or you weren't, because I had a foster sister that was a year younger than I was, so she had a different color name tag than I did. So when you went, you had families that are like, I would like to adopt somebody. You know, like you go to the puppy pound and you're like, I want that cute one. You know, the one with the really big eyes and everything that won't let me go. That's the one I want. It was like that, but with people. So this was at a church, and it was supposed to be outside, and it was starting to rain, and my dad was driving, and I already told you my mom's legally blind, so as far as a co-pilot and reading the map, she was not good. And they were driving. This was before GPS, right? This is before all this other stuff. This is, remember when you had maps in your glove box and they would go like this and they would cover the whole front of your car as you're spreading this out? That was those types of days. So my dad was driving, and they were looking for this church for about an hour, and they were very determined. My mom and dad had 2 miscarriages before I was adopted, and they were 100% due to my dad. My dad served in the military, just like me, and that's why. And he drove an Agent Orange truck. And if you know much about it, that's not a good thing. And the 2 babies that my mom had in miscarry, they were very deformed. One was, you know, about 5 months old, little boy, very, very deformed. And the doctor had talked to her and said, Joy, don't do this again. What did your husband do in the military? And she told him, she said, don't do this again. If you were to have a full-term baby, the chances of the child being without deformities and fully healthy and everything were so slim to none. Don't do this. And it was one of my older sisters that had said, why don't you try adopting? And that's why they were going for this church picnic. So they were getting ready to turn around. It's like, you know, we can't find it. It's been an hour. it's starting to rain. The whole event was supposed to be outdoors. It's starting to rain. Let me turn around. And they decided to just turn around at the end of this next hill. And as soon as they reached the top of the hill, the sun broke through the clouds and it shined down on the church. And that's where they were going. And they found the church and everything, and they got there. They moved everything indoors because it had been raining. But that's where I got to meet them. And I knew from meeting them that that was my parents. There's no doubt. It was 100%. When we met, I had, pigtails in, little green pigtails, and my shoes were tennis shoes, but they were barely held together. Not a joke. They were not even hand-me-downs. They were barely held together. There were so many holes in them. And I'm at this church picnic, and my parents were talking to my foster sister and said, "Oh, what's your name, little girl?" And she just looks at, "Oh, I'm not for sale." That's the type of stuff that you have to deal with. I wasn't for sale either, but we're at this thing, and I got to have lunch with them. They had hot dogs, and they said, "Oh my God, I think I ate 3 hot dogs." That's what they told me. I ate 3 hot dogs, which I was like 65 pounds, 10 years old. It's a tiny little thing. And I was very hungry. My food was rationed. So they told me I could have as much food as I wanted to, and I was going to make sure I ate some food. So I was just, it's like 3 or 4 hot dogs. And they had one of those I'm special, I'm important videos, in case kids feel bad. I didn't know I was supposed to feel bad, so I didn't. So they had that playing, because this is a church thing, and they had that on the screen, and I had gone to the bathroom and everything. I'm coming back, and I'm like, and I found my caseworker, my social worker. I don't recommend them. They're not nice people. But I found her, and I'm like, where did those people go that I was talking with? Where did those people go? And she told me they were sitting in the front, and the movie was on. So I got on my hands and knees, and I crawled across the floor over to them. My mom said that was the thing that stole my dad's heart right there, is this little girl just crawling across the floor to go see them, and just sat down with them. I spent the entire day with them, all of the time. And there was a lady there in a wheelchair. There's all sorts of people there. And when we were leaving, my dad helped her put her wheelchair in her car. And I was looking up at him. I mean, he was a big man. He was, I was a tiny little girl. He was 6'1", over 200 pounds. He was just bigger than life. He had the beard. He looked like Grizzly Adams. He had the beard and everything. I mean, he's a very handsome man. And I was just looking up in awe. Man, I had the doughy eyes. I was just like this. And I almost said, it's like, that's my dad. I was so proud and so happy. I mean, just this small thing that he was doing. And, I just knew they were going to come pick me up. But, if you've ever dealt with any social worker and you've ever dealt with anything like that, it takes time. So I didn't hear anything. It's not like we had cell phones. I didn't hear anything at all. And then the foster family I was with, they had a tragedy in the family, and they were going off to deal with that. So they put me someplace else for a couple of weeks. And the caseworker said, "Hey, it's these people that you met at this picnic." And they told me the last name, and I thought it was my mom and dad, because I couldn't remember that exactly how to pronounce it. So I was all excited because I'm like, "Ooh, I get to go. I'm going to go see him again." It was the lady in the wheelchair. Yeah, I was so sad. I was so sad. I mean, we're driving, and my parents had told me that they lived out in the country, and they lived on 10 acres, and they had 3 ponds, and I'm so excited and everything, and as the caseworker is driving me, and we're continuing to drive, I'm like, this doesn't look like out in the country. So we ended up in a trailer park, right? And again, it was the lady with the wheelchair. And so I stayed with them for a couple of weeks, and she was wonderful. She was. It wasn't anything bad. She did teach me the foundation stitches of crochet, which was cool. And I had this little ball of yellow yarn. So when I finally got to meet my parents again, I looked at my mom and said, "Do you know how to crochet?" Oh, she was just beside herself with joy. Oh yes, my mom knew how to crochet. She gave me everything I needed, and let's go. It was game on from there. But that was the coolest thing. And then the final day, because then it was because I was an older child, it was weekly visits, not really weekly, but it was visitation to make sure that we bonded. And every time I had to leave, I cried. I broke my dad's heart. Man, I cried my eyes out. It is not pretty crying. A little kid, ugly cry, snot face, you know, you name it. It just, I did not want to leave. And it broke his heart. And every time I'd go, I didn't have anything of value, but I was moving in. Oh, I had a plan. I was moving in. So I brought my bag of whatever, kind of like the equivalent of a Walmart bag, and I didn't take it home with me. When it was the weekend was over and I had to go back to the foster home, I didn't take it and they didn't make me because I was moving in. I had a plan. I was moving in. And I broke his heart so much. They talked to the social workers, and technically I was their foster child for a little while the adoption paperwork was going through. But the final day they came to pick me up, something that I never thought of. They're coming to pick me up, and my mom and dad are in the car, and they're talking, and said, my dad looks at my mom and said, Joy, what does she call us? What do we call her? You know, I mean, what, you know, and what he was asking is, am I going to call them mom and dad? Because again, I was an older child, you know, it's like, well, how does this, you know, now that it's a reality. And when they pulled up into the driveway, I ran out as fast as I could, and I just jumped in and said, Daddy, Daddy. And that alleviated everything. But that warmed my heart to hear that, because that never occurred to me, because from the first time I met them, they were my parents. We were just waiting for the stupid state to do their stuff, right? But I just knew that was my parents. That was the answer to my prayers. There was no doubt if there could be any more of a bond. I couldn't imagine it. They were just the best. Unfortunately, they're both passed now. You know, it's life goes on, but they gave me stability. They gave me a home. They gave me comfort. They gave me morals and values. They gave me a good example. I mean, what more could you want from parents, right? You know, and they were the best. You know, still this many years later, still talking about them the same way. They were definitely the best. Yeah. Well, sorry, not yarn related. Got off on a tangent on that one, but yeah, they were absolutely fantastic. Yep. My battery's about ready to go. I had to click it once. So I should probably wrap up pretty soon. Yep. I have happy treats and goosebumps, Deborah. Oh, yeah, my parents were just the best. Let's see. Yep. But I will leave it at that. Yeah. We all have our own memories, and we have the things that are important to us. I'm at this stage in my life where I get to hear the stories from my kids, and I get to hear, as they're 25 to 30 years old, and I get to hear the things that we did that really resonated. And the stories that they remember aren't necessarily the stories that I remember, but overall they've done really, really well. And you get to see, at this point in my life, I get to see the fruits of my labor, right? And I like to think that before my parents moved on, that they got to see the fruits of their labor. They got to see their little girl grow up and know that they did this, you know, and they got to see their grandkids. So it wasn't just me. They got to see their grandkids, all three of them. Yeah. You know, from me. They've got grandkids from their other kids, but I mean, from me, they got to see their grandkids as far as that goes, and know that they did that. And one of my granddaughters, her middle name is my mom's name, after my mom, and my son's middle name is after my dad, and so is his son. So these things get carried on, and it's just absolutely wonderful. That's just, you know, that's how we do things. That's how we carry things on, and those traditions and that love. Well, I'm going to let everybody go now before my battery dies, and it's some weird sentence like it was last time. You guys all have a great night. Well, it's night for me. I don't know. We might have some people somewhere across the pond where it's daytime. I don't know. But you guys all have a great evening. It has been so wonderful to talk to you, and we'll do it again sometime. Bye, everybody. If I can figure out how to end it. There we go.